Just a few hours ago, SpaceX unveiled its latest updates on Starship in a presentation that immediately set the aerospace world abuzz. From stunning renders of future Mars missions to a deep dive into technological breakthroughs, the presentation was a sweeping look at how far the Starship program has come and where it's boldly going next. But beyond the headline-grabbing visuals, the event offered critical new details about upcoming design changes, engine improvements, and ambitious flight goals. It even outlined a future where Starship is routinely caught midair upon return, a concept that once seemed closer to science fiction than science fact. As we unpack every revelation from this presentation, it becomes clear. SpaceX is accelerating the timeline for Mars, and Starship is its ticket. The event opened with a retrospective of the Starship program, charting its progress from rough prototypes in the South Texas heat to orbital-class launches capable of carrying immense payloads. Then, without missing a beat, the focus pivoted to the near future, and the next-generation Starship vehicles already in development. Elon Musk took the stage and made a striking claim. SpaceX hopes to demonstrate an upper-stage catch within just 2 to 3 months. That means a Starship vehicle would launch into orbit, circle the Earth, re-enter the atmosphere, and precisely return to be caught at the launch tower, a maneuver that requires extreme precision and confidence in re-entry systems, guidance, and thermal protection. Even though Starship version 2 flights have seen mixed results, SpaceX has previously shown remarkable control during upper-stage landing burns. Still, the window of just a few months for such a critical milestone remains aggressive. This goal underscores how relentlessly SpaceX is pushing toward full reuse, a fundamental pillar of the Mars architecture. The upper-stage recovery is the missing link to Starship becoming the first fully reusable orbital-class rocket in history. From there, the conversation moved to the Raptor 3 engine, the new powerhouse destined to transform Starship into an even more formidable vehicle. The presentation included detailed footage and images of the engine, showcasing its elegant simplicity. Unlike earlier versions, Raptor 3 features dramatically reduced plumbing, consolidated systems, and electronics integrated directly into the structure. As Musk noted, "We had to simplify so many parts of the design, incorporate secondary fluid circuits and electronics in the structure of the engine itself so everything is contained and protected." One of the most game-changing features of Raptor 3 is that it no longer requires a traditional base heat shield. That saves tremendous mass and increases reliability. Musk explained, "If there's a small fuel leak from the Raptor engine, it will simply leak into the existing flaming plasma and not really matter. Whereas a fuel leak when the engines are contained in a box is a very scary thing." This approach not only reduces weight but also eliminates a key point of failure. If Raptor 3 performs as expected, it represents a breakthrough not just for Starship, but for all future rocket designs. To back up these bold claims, SpaceX revealed that it has already conducted over 300 Raptor 3 test firings, totaling more than 16,000 seconds of runtime. That level of testing, executed in such a short time, indicates SpaceX is fast-tracking this engine toward operational readiness. The company also showed a full-throttle hot fire of Raptor 3, and the roar from the engine in the demo video underscored its ferocity and power. The spotlight then shifted to vehicle-level changes that marked the transition to Starship version 3. The upgrades are not just incremental, they're fundamental. Among the most noticeable, a redesigned hot stage ring, a reduction in the number of grid fins from 4 to 3, the elimination of the booster engine heat shield, and the transition to a permanently mounted hot stage ring. Each of these modifications is aimed at making Starship lighter, simpler, and easier to reuse. The hot stage ring deserves special attention. In previous versions, it was a temporary attachment used only during separation. Now, it's become a permanent fixture built from lightweight structural struts. This new design allows exhaust gases from the upper stage Raptor engines to escape efficiently while the stages remain attached. It's a sleeker, more integrated solution that speaks to SpaceX's evolving philosophy: remove complexity, add capability. The grid fin change might seem small, but it also tells a bigger story. By reducing from 4 to 3 fins, engineers are signaling increased confidence in Starship's aerodynamic control during descent. Less hardware equals less weight, and less weight equals higher payload capacity. During the presentation, the booster section shown in the background clearly reflected this change, with one empty fin mount and 2 others located asymmetrically, implying a triangular grid fin configuration. Eliminating the booster engine heat shield is perhaps the most dramatic of all the modifications. SpaceX believes the structural enhancements and thermal resilience of Raptor 3 engines are robust enough to endure re-entry without an additional layer of shielding. This move, if successful, drastically cuts down the vehicle's dry mass and potential maintenance overhead. All signs point towards SpaceX standardizing these features into what Musk calls Starship V3. He was quoted saying, "Starship V3 is the version that achieves all the key elements." Historically, SpaceX has followed a third times the charm philosophy, where version 3 of any new technology often marks the point at which all critical features are locked in. Starship appears to be following that same evolutionary curve. But the presentation didn't stop at hardware. SpaceX also gave insights into timelines and broader mission architecture. It hinted that orbital test flights using these new components could happen sooner than expected, with launch cadence set to increase dramatically throughout the year. The long-term goal remains the same: launch, recover, refuel in orbit, and send humans to Mars. But the path to that goal is narrowing into focus, and these upgrades are critical stepping stones. Also revealed were updated renders showing Starship on Mars, deploying habitats, cargo systems, and even early signs of construction equipment. The images weren't just flashy marketing. They were accompanied by detailed discussion on payload configurations, heat shield integration, and landing stability. These aren't concepts anymore. They're active areas of engineering development. It's worth noting that none of this is taking place in a vacuum. SpaceX's efforts are tightly linked with NASA's Artemis program, which plans to use a version of Starship as a human landing system for the Moon. The technology being refined today for Mars also supports near-term missions within our own celestial backyard. Each Starship test, each Raptor 3 firing, each grid fin removal, it's all part of the same unified roadmap. And perhaps most inspiring was the vision. Musk didn't just talk about specs and test schedules. He talked about civilization. About making life multiplanetary. About lighting the path to Mars not just with flames from Raptor engines, but with human ambition. And as the presentation drew to a close, you could sense it. Starship is no longer a dream on the drawing board. It's a machine in motion. As SpaceX continues its feverish pace of innovation, the Starship program appears poised to enter a new phase, not one of speculation but execution. Catching Starship midair may still sound fantastical. But so did landing rockets on drone ships until SpaceX did it again and again. What we saw in this presentation was more than an update. It was a declaration. The countdown to Mars isn't years away. It's happening now. With Starship version 3 now entering the spotlight, Elon Musk made it clear that the engineering philosophy driving this iteration is all about refinement and readiness. As he stated, it often takes 3 major revisions of any new technology before it truly matures. And this third version is the one meant to deliver everything SpaceX has promised from the beginning: rapid reusability, reliability, and orbital refueling. With Raptor 3 engines incorporated, both Starship and Super Heavy are being transformed into a more capable, more robust system, and Musk hinted that by the end of this year, we could see the first launch of this new configuration. A timeline that, while ambitious, seems to be underpinned by serious momentum. In one of the most striking revelations of the presentation, we were shown a new render of a future Starship upper stage featuring 9 engines rather than the usual 6. This upgrade includes 3 additional vacuum-optimized Raptor engines nestled between the existing trio. Such an increase significantly boosts thrust and efficiency for orbital and deep space missions, particularly ones requiring substantial payloads or long-distance trajectories like those headed to Mars. Perhaps the most technically captivating part of the presentation was the renewed focus on in-orbit propellant transfer, a technology crucial to interplanetary missions. For the first time, SpaceX showcased an accurate depiction of how this transfer will occur. 2 Starships, one acting as a tanker, will dock in orbit. From there, the tanker will transfer both liquid methane and liquid oxygen to the receiver. Musk emphasized that roughly 80% of the transferred mass is oxygen, a critical note given how oxidizers dominate fuel volume in rocket engines. Demonstrating this system in the near future is one of SpaceX's top technical priorities. Then came the pivot to Mars. The next optimal launch window to the Red Planet opens in approximately 18 months. Musk stated, "We'll try to make that opportunity. I think we probably have a 50-50 chance right now." That 50% hinges entirely on whether orbital refueling can be perfected in time. If it is, SpaceX will attempt the first uncrewed Starship mission to Mars at the tail end of next year. Should that mission succeed, it will be the beginning of a ramp-up that Musk envisions in bold numbers. 5 landers in 2026, scaling to 20, then 100 and eventually 500. Location scouting has already begun. The current favorite is the Arcadia region of Mars. According to Musk, when all environmental and logistical factors are considered, distance from the poles, access to water ice, terrain flatness and altitude, the viable options narrow dramatically. Arcadia, he explained, fits all those requirements. It offers flat terrain suitable for landing and infrastructure, and it is close enough to water ice deposits that future Martian settlers might extract drinking water, fuel, and oxygen. But Mars presents other major challenges. Chief among them, developing a reusable orbital heat shield. No spacecraft in history has had a truly reusable one, not even the Space Shuttle. Its heat shield required months of delicate tile-by-tile inspections and replacements after every flight. Musk pointed out that this remains a very hard problem, and Starship's heat shield is no exception. The team will need years of iteration to hone the shield for multiple Earth re-entries, and even more so for entry into Mars' thin atmosphere. This heat shield focus was particularly evident during Starship's 9th flight, which occurred just days before the presentation. Several experiments were on board specifically designed to test different thermal protection systems. Engineers intentionally removed heat shield tiles from certain areas of the upper stage to analyze vulnerability. New materials were trialed, including metallic tiles and even tiles with active cooling mechanisms, all in pursuit of the dream, a durable, reusable heat shield that can survive multiple flights without extensive repair. However, Flight 9 encountered an issue. According to the official SpaceX statement, an attitude control error prevented the Raptor engine from reigniting during re-entry. As a result, Starship couldn't align itself properly for re-entry and initiated a safety sequence. It depressurized, shut down systems, and ultimately lost contact around 46 minutes into the flight. All debris fell within the designated safety zone in the Indian Ocean. Yet, despite the setback, the flight marked a major milestone, the first reuse of a Super Heavy booster, which launched successfully and returned Starship to space. This incremental progress underscores a core truth about the Starship program. This is developmental testing, and every flight brings in valuable lessons. Each mission adds to the growing database of performance, failure points, and necessary refinements. And while the ultimate goal, making life multiplanetary, remains a long-term vision, the path forward is laid with short-term technical wins and iterative milestones. SpaceX's openness about these tests, including what went wrong, sets them apart from other programs and highlights their commitment to progress through transparency. As Elon wrapped up the presentation, he emphasized the speed of iteration and the volume of hardware under construction. Multiple new boosters and ships are in assembly at Starbase, with teams working around the clock to bring Starship V3 to flight readiness. As hardware evolves, so does the software. Autonomous systems are being upgraded, avionics fine-tuned, and mission planning refined with each passing month. One striking part of the talk involved upcoming missions to not only Mars but also potential lunar flights. Musk reiterated that the Starship HLS variant, selected by NASA for the Artemis missions, will be deeply influenced by the ongoing work on Starship V3. Any upgrades to the engines, heat shield, docking systems, or refueling capabilities will ripple into the HLS program, creating a unified and flexible fleet. Moreover, the implications for the commercial spaceflight industry are enormous. A reusable orbital-class launch vehicle, capable of returning from Mars or the Moon and flying again shortly after, fundamentally reshapes the economics of space access. Launch costs could drop by orders of magnitude, and payload volume would increase dramatically. This will open the door for previously unimaginable missions. Massive telescopes, multi-module space habitats, asteroid mining rigs, even interstellar probes. In a sense, Starship is a tool, a platform for experimentation, discovery, and expansion. And every time it flies, it unlocks more potential. As Musk has often said, making life multiplanetary isn't just about survival. It's about making life more exciting, more adventurous, and more connected to the cosmos. And Starship, in all its evolving complexity, is the spearhead of that vision. From Raptor 3's simplicity and strength, to the stripped-down booster with asymmetric grid fins and no heat shield, to the delicate challenge of fuel transfer and microgravity, every piece of this program is moving toward one goal: build the vehicle that can take humanity further than it's ever gone before. And while many challenges remain, technical, financial, political, the foundation is taking shape. Steel rings are being stacked in Texas. Engines are being tested to failure. Software is being rewritten. And one day, in the not-too-distant future, a Super Heavy booster will roar to life, sending a Starship toward a tiny red dot in the sky. And when it lands there, on a plain of Martian dust, it will mark not the end of a journey, but the beginning of a story we've only just begun to tell.